Joe in Chevy Chase, Maryland. You wanted to talk about the Second Amendment.
Hello?
These guys who call themselves Second Amendment protesters who want to strut around with an AR-15 strapped to their back or on their front or whatever. What's up, Joe?
Well, yeah, I always enjoy listening to your show. I again agree with about 70% of it.
Okay.
However, when you start this little comedy shtick on the Small Penis Gun Club,
right, .com,
it just shows how intolerant and kind of blind liberals are to their own prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine if somebody had a website called, Frigid Frustrated Woman, and it linked to Dianne Feinstein's website. Mm-hmm. Would you think that would be funny? What if I support striking down.
I don't see why somebody would put that up.
I also am for gay marriage and all that kind of stuff. But would you think it was funny if somebody said, "Oh, two lesbians kissing at a protest of people protesting against gay marriage. The only reason they're doing is because they're too ugly to get a man." I really think
that's what Rush Limbaugh used to say. Actually, Rush Limbaugh has said that several times.
So what are you saying that you're going to?
What I'm saying, Joe, is that for example, one of my brothers owns a couple of guns. He doesn't sit around all day and think about his guns. He doesn't call into talk shows about his guns. I don't see. My analysis of this, Joe, is that people who are obsessed with their guns, particularly men who are obsessed with their guns, probably are compensating for something. Why is it that you're calling in, Joe?
What scientific evidence do you have of that whatsoever?
Well, I can give you actually some very solid scientific evidence that men's penises in the United States have been shrinking over the last decade or so, in large part because of bisphenol A and a few other estrogen-mimicking additives that are in our food supply. That's well established.
The reason guns are popular in America is because men's penises in America are smaller?
Some men.
Really?
Yes, especially those men who eat a lot of fast food, because bisphenol A is used to line cans, and it's used to make the plastic that lines these big boxes that the special sauces and things for the fast food restaurants are shipped in. And it's an estrogen mimicker. I wrote an op-ed about this. You can find it at truthout.org. And I think it has the links in it to the actual scientific studies, but it's very easy to Google this information. Look, BPA is the name of the chemical, and just Google BPA and small penis, and it'll pop right up. And so, yeah, if you want a scientific, genuine, thoughtful scientific analysis of it, there are a lot of people out there who are speculating that, or who are asserting, there are scientists who are asserting that male equipment in the United States over the last 15, 20 years has been shrinking, and in large part because of these estrogen-mimicking chemicals in our food supply. The question is, what will the outcome of that be? And I'm asserting that it's a possibility, based on Freud's penis envy theory, that those men might be compensating by saying, well, I've got to get a bigger gun, a larger gun, a louder gun, 2 louder guns, 3 or 4 louder guns, and, strut around in public with those guns. It just makes sense, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I used to think you were an intelligent guy, but that's just the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Okay. Well, we disagree respectfully, and thank you for the respectful discussion. We'll see. Okay. Mark in Essington, Pennsylvania. Again, as I said, I think that there are a lot of very rational, very normal men who own guns.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
How you doing, Mark? I'm great.
Hey, I respectfully have to disagree with you on the gun issue when you were, you kind of berated that poor fellow who called up and doesn't want to turn his guns in, Well,
I'm not suggesting anybody turn their guns in.
Well, the way I see it, though, Tom, is in this way, and this is just a reasonable argument between you and me, that, this fellow does have a reasonable argument about being afraid of our government.
I don't, okay, Mark, you and I can agree that there are areas where the government has overstepped. I think that, frankly, yes. I think, drone warfare is an area where they've overstepped. I know that, some of the conservatives that come on this program would say taxes are an area where they've overstepped. But,
yeah, right.
But I don't think, I think that there's a very, very small group of people who think that the appropriate response to government overstepping its appropriate and constitutional powers is to buy more guns.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. But he was right when he said that an armed citizenry, citizens are the only thing that's keeping government from putting their boot down on your throat.
No, I disagree. I think I think that what's happening is that the more these guys, these militia members and whatnot, and they're running around, with hey, more guns, bigger guns, yeah. Those are the very same people who are electing the Republicans to Congress, who want to take away your Fourth Amendment rights to privacy, who are putting right-wingers on the Supreme Court, who want to say that you don't have, if you get arrested, you shouldn't be Mirandized, these arguments, the anti-liberty arguments, if you look at those arguments, they are actually being made by Republicans in Congress and Republican appointees on the Supreme Court. And so I would submit to you, respectfully, Mark, that the people who think that they're preparing for the end time and preparing to take down a tyrannical government by buying a whole bunch of guns and going out in the woods and shooting up trees and things, that those very people are instead of being politically active, instead of waking up to what's going on, instead of showing up for their local Republican Party meetings so that they can take it over and actually have some say in government, by running around in the woods with a gun, they're actually facilitating the takeover of their government by big corporations that, don't care about them and are going to screw them.
Say, I'm not a gun owner.
Yeah.
I'm not a gun owner.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily approve of having guns around the house. But, if push came to shove, I would want to defend myself against the government.
And I'm saying you can't do that with a gun. The way to defend yourself against government is by political action. You can defend yourself against a bad guy with a gun. But I think it's crazy to try and defend yourself against government with that. Mark, thank you for that.